If you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Christine Campbell-Rappin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. Effective marketing is very simple. It creates movement. And our job when we are building a marketing engine is to create multiple steps of movement that pull from the general crowd potential buyers. If it's not doing that, it's broken. Just so we're clear, let's get black and white on today's episode, because I am here today to show you how do you create that movement that I talk about so often, because I bet you would like to know how. Welcome to Amplify Your Marketing Message. I am your host, Christine Campbell-Rappin. If you're new here on the show, welcome. And if you've been back a while, we'd love having you here. I am a business mentor who helps people create predictable client growth. When people hear that, they say, "Oh, you're in marketing." I said, yes, and I'm also highly responsible for the sales function, because it's not enough just to have something that creates movement if our goal is a result that is sales. And that's where so many marketing people go astray. And that's where so many people get frustrated when the sales results are not as they promised. And that is truthfully why so many business mentors that you may have invested with haven't delivered the ROI. I am a business mentor who is very bottom line driven. My job is to help you build foundations to create repeatable, frequent, and predictable success. And that means we must have all three main elements of business firing up: effective marketing, effective selling, effective operations that deliver a standard to the influx of clients and leads that we are handling in our day-to-day activity. So if you're thinking, my marketing isn't as effective as I need it to be, maybe the answer is not the tactic. What do I mean by that? So many people, when they're like, it's just not working, I'll go try a new thing. And the reason your business is stalling is because you are constantly trying a new thing. Stop it. It's not the thing that's the problem. If you're thinking SEO isn't working, it's not SEO that's the problem. If you're thinking referrals aren't working because I'm not getting any that I can convert, referrals is not the problem. If you're thinking it's my website, well, truthfully, your website's job is not to convert if you're not bringing traffic to it and you don't have the right material on it that provides confidence to get to us. It's not the website's fault. My friends, every tool that you've ever heard about in marketing works, or you would not have heard about it. Okay, so it's going to get uncomfortable. You're thinking, what is the answer to that, Christine? If it's not the tactic that's the problem, where does the fault lie? Because we love to lay blame. The fault comes into the fact that we haven't built connecting dots. We haven't built the strategy that moves somebody. And strategy is the theory, a working theory that is constantly in movement. And our goal is movement. So I want to take you through some basic questions that I guide my clients to use, we use in our business to help us identify, one, is our marketing working? And two, is the person that we have attracted somebody we want to nurture and move towards an offer? Sound good? Let's dive in. The first thing, I want to set the scene, because this is probably one of the most controversial things I get into arguments with or heated exchanges with new clients. And even with existing clients, it requires some fine tuning, usually around month 6 to 9, if they're working with me for a full year. And it's this: our job as the business owner is not to judge our buyers. And boy, can we get falling into the trap of judging every single nanosecond of the day. But it is ineffective. It's a waste of time. And truthfully, it's costing you clients. Our job is not to judge whether someone can afford us. It's not our job to judge whether someone will see our framework as a viable option. And it is not our job to let their decision of saying yes or no to the offer destroy our self-worth. Our job is to make it available. And the more often we can make it available, the more we can get feedback from the market and from conversations to refine and fine-tune our marketing engine. So get into activity. You will learn nothing from the sidelines, and you'll learn nothing from living in the land of theory. Don't judge, experience. And so here's a tip. If you have been with me a while, or you're someone in my world who knows this, I would write a Post-it note and keep it on my computer that said, my job is not to judge whether they can afford me. My job is not to judge whether they will see my option as preferred. My job is simply to show up, educate, and make it available, and make the ask. So here's what I'm asking. The first question when someone comes into a conversation with me, and in my world, those conversations actually happen screen to screen or in person. We don't automate a lot of this because I truthfully really want full control over who becomes clients. Nobody in our business falls over something and ends up as a client. It is an intentional step we have both taken to a partnership with full understanding of expectations, anticipation, and a commitment to a shared journey. So for me, I have these actual conversations. You do you. If you want to automate some of this, I know you can. The first thing I want to ask is, what are you doing now to create the results you want? In my business, that is a simple ask. What are you doing now that brought you your last client? And I listen. You will hear all kinds of insight about their mindset, their clarity, their discipline in how they respond to your question. So take notes and let them talk. Often, when someone is having inconsistent results, there is information that says, I don't know what's working. I maybe have never had that result yet, but I desire it. And that's a clue, because it's important to remember that buyers are three things. So while right now we're in the marketing phase, we're not in the selling phase, we have to be really clear that our goal is to be looking for these three things so that when we move them through our marketing, we know we're ready to make an offer. Offers are made when somebody is problem aware, curious about a solution, prepared to do the work, and is asking for an offer. So back to where we were. What is working now to create the result X that you desire? Fill in the X. Second thing is just that. Not just what do you do, but why do you believe it's working? What elements are working? Because truthfully, and I've said it before, the answer is not another tactic. I want you to double down on what is working, because what works for you is what will be repeatable for you. It isn't about reinventing the wheel. And I think truthfully, one of the reasons most businesses stall as business owners, because that's who I serve, is because you're constantly trying to reinvent the wheel. You're constantly trying to find a new habit. You're constantly trying to find a new technique. And all the while, you're the bottleneck. It's not the technique that's the problem. It's your application of it. And so that's the second question. We're asking, in the application of what you're doing, what is working? And at that point in the conversation, you want to remind them to lean into what's working. That it doesn't need a reinvention because something else is topical and trendy. You do not want to invite a shiny object to be in the equation. You say simplify. Focus on what's working. You want to get out of overwhelm? You want to repeat this? Get better at what's already working. It's a faster path. So the flip side to that is question 3. What is not working? And this is the tell to what needs to be addressed, gained, or eliminated in order for your solution to be viable. You do not guide this, you simply ask it. What is not working now? And let them talk. Because they will give you the kingdoms to a place in time where you can say, in your mind, I think I can help you solve that. Or I know someone who can solve that for you. Or 3, you're not in a place yet where you're ready to make a decision, and I want to equip you with resources and redirect you. So we've covered what do you do now that's working. You've asked what's working about it. You've asked what's not working about it. You want to check whether they're looking for a solution, because some people are truly in the game of entertainment and all they want to do is complain. You are not looking for a client who just wants to hold their problem and complain about it. You are looking for the buyer who is action-orientated and desirous to solve it and has a commitment against that. So you ask this question. Have you tried to find solutions that build upon what's working and eliminate what's not? What solutions have you encountered? Chances are, if this is a repeating problem, which is always a good problem to have, a repeating problem is a better business strategy, a better business model, and a better business revenue. You ask them, what have you tried? And you might hear a laundry list of things. I've downloaded a free resource. I've Googled it. I Pinterested it. I went to Facebook. I went to Instagram. I went to YouTube. I went to Aunt Sally. I listened to a podcast. I attended a course. I bought a course. I hired a mentor. I attended a workshop. I went to a summit. I went to a conference, on and on and on. And some of you will hear that laundry list of places they've tried to solve it with and feel disheartened because you're like, oh, how do I stack against this? Stop it. You're back in the place of judgment. It's not relevant. When I hear somebody has tried to solve a problem, I think, wow, how fantastic. They're a buyer. They bought in to a solution. And yes, it may have fallen short, but they have a buyer's mindset. I'm willing to invest to solve this. And to me, that's a good thing. So I might probe a little further and ask the same 2 questions I asked earlier. So you've bought into a solution. What worked about it? What did you like about it? Where did it fall short? And I'm looking to be able to introduce my solution, if it's viable, into the gaps that they are communicating to me in this discovery conversation. And so I ask the simple question. I let them vent. I let them tell me what they've tried. I let them show me what solutions they've gone. And I ask this question well before I ever contemplate an offer with money attached to it. I said, if I could show you an alternate that builds on what's working, that minimizes and reduces your risk, would you be interested in continuing this conversation? And I wait for permission, which is granted in a yes, or if they say no, I know not to move forward. They're not in a position yet to spend more time with giving the offer. So at that stage, if they say yes, I am going to be providing a recommendation. A recommendation that does customly answer the gap. Provides the result they want, the result of X. It builds on what's working. It addresses what's not. And I say in that recommendation, I get to listen. What do you like about that? And if you like that, what's the benefit to making a decision today? What's the consequence of not making a decision today? And is it fair that if I make you an offer, I expect a decision? Do you agree to that? And I make the recommendation and I say, would you like to know the investment so that we can make a decision to move forward today? And I make that offer strongly, confidently, because they have provided me the tool and the permission, and I'm clear that we're in a decision-making moment. Zero judgment of the outcome, but I am confident we should be making a decision in this conversation. As part of that story, you might not get an immediate yes. That's okay. It doesn't mean we shut down the call and run away and hide and feel crappy about our business and derail the next 24 to 10 weeks. Instead, I want to help illuminate the transformation that my solution provides. Not the dollars. The dollars are what they are. Yes, that's the investment. And here's the transformation you will have. I focus on 5 key things. Where will you be with this result? See themselves with the result. What does it feel like? I address, well, how do you feel about the uncertainty or the nervousness or what fears might be holding you back? Let's talk about them. Are they supporting you in achieving that transformation? And we have to call it out with no judgment, but accurate, simple logic. We invite them to be brave and say, be bold. If you really want this, this is a clear path. You have asked me for the path. You've agreed the path is a smart one. And you've asked me for the investment. And I get you're afraid. I get it's uncertain. And I get there's no guarantee. But this path you've told me is a better option than where you are. And I invite them to be curious about the life they could have. And I will show them how we begin, so that there's no uncertainty. And the final thing I might ask, and this is a great question, do you have all the answers you need to make a decision? And we keep staying in that transformation loop until we can clearly see where they want to be. We have addressed the fears. We've invited them to be brave, and we hold tension. We hold space to get to yes. And if no is the card that is dealt, we respectfully still hold the space and invite them to future opportunities to keep engaging in the solution. We believe in them because we respect their choice. I will tell you that effective marketing is about moving somebody from curious to paid client. It doesn't matter what tactic you use. People want the journey. And this episode today, I hope has shown you how to traverse it, how to engage in conversation. And if this sounds like work, it is. And it's the kind of work that creates income, impact, transformation, and provides you the business result you're seeking, which is to amplify your message, to build a business, and to serve clients at a very high level. And that's why, while I say this is work, I also know this. Doing this work on your own is 100% possible. It is possible. And I see clients do this. I will also say, know yourself. If this feels like a huge stretch for what's possible for you, I want you to come and explore working with us to build this engine, to walk you through these conversations, to put you into our lead sprint, in our sales sprint, so you get coaching on how to walk this step by step. Because the more you do walk this step by step, the more reps you put into it, the more confident you will be in navigating it. That will lead to 2 clear results: better outcomes. That means more clients, more revenue, more impact, but also a shorter cycle to it. Not everybody is a decision maker, and our job is not to judge whether they're ready, whether they're financially in the position to do it, but our job is to make sure we are asking good questions, we find matches where they're appropriate, and we lead this conversation. That's what we do every day in our business here at Clear Acceleration Inc. I want you to win. So go win with this information. And if you need support, come win with us and we'll walk you hand by hand to get this result fired up for your business. I'll see you all on our next episode. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell-Rappin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrappin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.